Note to self, I am now recording. This is Best Boys episode 9.
Yeah, this is episode 9.
So actually, I was thinking I'll just edit this episode and you can do the deep dive episode if you want. I
Yeah,
don't
that
have
works.
anything else going on, so there's no reason for me to not be able to edit.
Yeah. And apparently I gotta get my shit together for school.
Yeah, God, that sucks.
So bad.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking, are you gonna try to do? We can cut this if you're not gonna actually talk about your secret project on air, but
I'll talk about it.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want me to hold you accountable for that, maybe I can do it. So it's like I'll edit and upload Best Boys proper like this episode next week, and then you can have like 2 weeks to do Best Boys deep dive, and then you can upload the other thing like 3 weeks later, so you have enough time to work on it, but there's still kind of like a deadline assigned.
Yeah.
That way we have stuff in the can, and you have a decent amount of time to work on like your secret project, and like we have content coming out fairly regularly. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
I was thinking maybe uploading them on Wednesdays, because at the beginning of the week I get like 2 days off, pretty much back to back. And I have like one day that I work, but it's like a Monday, and I'm usually there for not very long. So that'll give me enough time to be able to edit, because later on in the week, like Fridays and Saturdays, I work like back to back, and then I have work again on Monday. So like, um, I don't know if I don't know if I would have enough time. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to upload every Friday, and I think that that's usually like kind of the benchmark. But I'd kind of want to do Wednesday if that's cool.
Yeah, Wednesday works.
Nice. Okay. I will try to get this edited by next Wednesday, because it's what, Thursday today?
Yeah, it's
cool.
Thursday.
That gives me like a week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have my notes from our conversation yesterday.
Yeah. Also, we gotta clap in.
Yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. A little rusty.
It's been a very hot second.
It's been a hot second. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, clap.
That was not very good, but it'll be fine.
It will do.
Yeah.
Ned is in the room with me.
Oh, good.
And he has been bastardous all morning.
Secret third host.
Yeah, so hopefully he's not a dick during recording. He's been okay. He's been better, but he did keep waking me up this morning. It's very cute that he's acclimated to my work schedule, but that's not very cute when he wakes me up at 5:30 on my day off.
Yeah, that's uncute.
Like, please don't do that.
So I don't think I have a cold open necessarily.
Cool. We can just. Do you want to just do the intro and log in?
I do prefer doing a cold open. This doesn't have to be it, obviously, because I don't know if this is anything. I want to ask.
Okay.
I want to ask you if this is anything, and we can leave it in or not leave it in, depending.
Okay.
So I have been going down a bit of a trip down memory lane as of late in all of this. Playing old video games and watching movies I used to, watch when I was a kid and whatever.
We've been doing that too. I've been mooching off of my family's Disney Plus account, because that's piracy apparently. And we've been watching a bunch of old movies on Disney Plus as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's been cool.
Yeah. And for some reason, like, weird things from my childhood have been coming back to me. And I want to know if this is anything, because when I was a kid, there was a joke. I don't remember what the context was or where it originates, but it was the group of us. It's occurring to me how nothing this is as I'm saying it. But
all right,
we would say, like, it was in the era of, like, that's what she said and whatever, and like that kind of like sex jokes, but without saying the word sex, because that's too inappropriate for even us.
Yeah. It's like when we were quite young.
Yeah. So at one point, it became a joke of us saying, "Ride the pony," like with that, like,
That cadence.
intonation, yeah, and that cadence of just like, and also we made a motion of like slowly riding a little horsey
Okay.
with like the hands out, like you're holding the reins and like jump.
Oh yes,
like
Gangnam styling, duh.
sort of, but not with like not the dancing necessarily, but like just gently, slowly bouncing. Like it's a very gentle ride of this pony.
I've never heard of that. That must have been like a regional thing.
Maybe it was just nothing, and we just were random TM kids.
Maybe that. I don't know if that came from anything, because I don't think I've ever heard that.
On a dumb playground in a dumb school, and we didn't have anything fun to do, so we just came up with Ride the Pony.
It's a decent segue into like pretty much everything. So obviously there is a pandemic going on around the world, and we live in the United States, and the United States has not been handling the situation very well. And on a personal level, both of us kind of aren't handling everything very well. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to do pass-fail at school, so I've kind of low-key dropped my classes, and I've been working at a grocery store during all of this. So,
and to clarify for those who maybe don't know what pass-fail means, because I found this out last night. I was in the same boat as Leo, pretty much just like, yeah, whatever, I'm giving up on my classes because I'm gonna pass-fail. I didn't realize that pass-fail didn't mean we're just gonna stop going to class and you just give us the grade that we currently have. Because I thought that's what it meant, but it's not, apparently.
I kind of think that's what it means at my school. I think your school is handling it very weirdly.
Well, that's how FSU is doing it too, so.
From what I've been talking to my professors like back and forth, and they know that I'm like a pandemic frontline fucking worker, so I don't think they're gonna like demand that I turn in. I think
it's maybe a different situation for you because you have like an excuse in quotation marks for not doing your work. Meanwhile, I'm just a lazy schlub who doesn't want
mean, like, we are all undergoing a globally traumatic event. Like, I don't think anyone should feel bad about like not doing so hot right now. Like, I haven't really been drawing a lot. Like, you know, we've both been pretty fucking depressed. It's hard to really get anything done when all of this is going on, but baby.
Little
boy's being angry. He's been angry all morning.
Oh, no.
He wants us to fucking leave the house. No. No, he's fine. He's not like that. But yeah, on a I guess a lighter note, it's been shitty, but we're kind of trying to do content, and like, you know, I feel like we haven't really been talking a ton lately because we've both just been like, fuck, dude, like, I don't have any energy to do anything fun.
Yeah.
But this is kind of our way of bridging the gap a little bit, catching up, and like still working on something that makes us both happy and like, you know, be productive in quotes during all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Not and also, that there should be any pressure to be productive right now, but like if we can do something fun and make something out of it, then like might as well.
And also,
especially since we just haven't done anything in a while.
I was gonna say it's been a hot second since we've done anything with this podcast or our YouTube channel.
It sure has, but like it's been shitty. Like, yeah, it's been real bad.
Things have been rough. I'm not arguing against that. Things have been pretty ouchy as of late, emotionally.
We had a couple of ideas for some stuff that we wanted to do with our channel, but due to like technical issues, we don't know if they're gonna be like a thing. But we'll still try to upload like episodes. And Jesse's got a cool little project in the can that we'll discuss later. And actually, you know what? I have some stuff to upload to the channel too. Actually, that I just like haven't put up. Oh, cool. So we'll have some stuff coming. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as grand as we were wanting to do originally, but like we have some ideas. So that's a bummer, but
Also, do you want to intro the show?
yeah, okay. Um, it's been a long time, folks, but hello, everybody, and welcome to Best Boys Podcast, a show by film students, but not just for film students. I'm your host, Leo, in these trying times.
And I'm your host, Jesse. I'm your co-host, Jesse.
You're the other one.
I'm the other one. I forgot I was the other one.
You forgot the
I
you
forgot
forgot
the
the bit.
bit. And I'm still here. I'm Jesse.
Despite it all, we're still here.
Despite it all, you're still you.
Oh my god. I saw that. I saw like that Undertale screenshot, but it was despite it all, it's still fucking March. So horrible, but so on point.
God.
All right, so for our first like little creative workshop talk that we haven't done in a while, I miss these. I like talking shop with you. I know like you don't really get to do a whole lot at school and you don't always have like a ton to talk about, but like
My school is terrible, and we're gonna get into that right after Leo's bit.
yeah, I think we'll discuss quite a bit how like kind of shitty Jesse's college experience has been, but
Uh-huh.
um unfortunately mine has been a lot better. I've had
Unfortunately.
like, fortunately for me, but like I still feel bad. This past semester that I've kind of given up on, before everything went to shit in March, there was I don't know, like apparently this is kind of a nationwide thing, but there's something called Campus Movie Fest, and it's like this traveling like group of folks. It's like a company, and they go to different college campuses, and they have like a bunch of different equipment that you can check out. And the challenge is you basically they give you all this equipment, but there's a limited time to use it, obviously, and like they go to different colleges, so it's a short period of time. So basically, the challenge is to make a movie or a video or a film or whatever in a week. Um, and like you submit it at this day, and then like 2 or 3 days later there's like a premiere, and like you go to see if yours made it or not. That kind of pissed me off because I did go to the premiere, but they didn't tell you like whether or not you made it in or not like beforehand, which is like really annoying. But basically I had stuff that I was doing for school already, and I wasn't really able to shoehorn this in yet. But I had been watching a lot of Defunct Land, obviously. I still haven't really like talked in depth about, theme parks and shit on here, but I've definitely skirted the edges. But Defunct Land and like theme park YouTube channels are like very cool and something that I've been like watching a lot. But I watched Defunct Land's retrospective on Jim Henson, and I was like really really inspired by like puppeteering and shit. And like he did another video about Ubi. Did you watch the Ubi episode?
I don't
Did
think so.
he has the side series Defunct TV where he talks about
Mhm.
old TV shows. That's where you watched the Dragon Tales one. That was very very pretty and like
I watched the
very
Dragon Tales
sweet.
one and the Bear in the Big Blue House one.
Yes, those were both excellent videos. I really
I
enjoyed
also watched
those.
the Cat in the Hat one. That was super weird.
Oh, I think I watched that one too. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I should rewatch the video, but like, yeah, I remember watching that one too. Um, but I never really grew up with the Muppets or Sesame Street because I was a very pretentious child, and I was like,
You
those are
sure
for
were.
babies. Those are for babies. I didn't like them. I didn't like watching I didn't really like watching those when it was like my time to, I guess. Like I was definitely the right age, but I was like, no, I don't want to watch that. I'm too good for Sesame Street. Which is not true. Nobody is too good for Sesame Street.
Sesame Street's
But
very good.
I did watch stuff growing up that was like puppeteering. Like I didn't really watch Bear in the Big Blue House that much, but like I was aware of it. And like I watched a lot of Ubi, the bear hand puppet things. Like do you know what I'm talking about when I mentioned
I
that show?
I've seen the thumbnail for it, and I was like, that looks too scary for me. I'm not gonna watch it.
It's so good. I love Ubi. It's like honestly such a sweet little show, and like I think the puppeteering style is very charming and interesting, and it makes for some like really interesting character decisions, and like everything is so much more like the whole Defunct Land mentioned that the whole like kind of premise of the show was simplicity, and as somebody that like grew up watching that, and I like was the target demographic, I very much agree. Um because Mr. Defunctland, I believe, is a little older than me. So like,
Mhm.
I definitely was like my sibling and I both watched it together. I think I was slightly too old for Noggin. You watched Noggin too,
I
but
watched
Ubi was
Noggin.
on Noggin.
I was
Ubi was on Noggin.
Oh, weird. I never saw it advertised on Noggin. I was very different from you growing up because I engaged with like very like programming that was like way too young for me. Like as I grew older, so like I was in 5th grade and I was still watching like the Land Before Time sequels and Veggie Tales and whatever, and everyone was like, "What? What are you doing? Grow up, you little boy," or whatever.
Yeah, I think at that point when I was 10, I was getting into like Transformers animated and like Harry Potter. And I feel like Harry Potter is like more young, like it's still
Mature
a
TM.
yeah, like more, maybe like an older child rather
Yeah.
than like
I'm
preschool
watching
to like
Dora and Blue's Clues.
you were still doing that in 5th grade, really. You were still
Yeah.
watching like preschool programming. That's really interesting.
Not all the time. Like I did also watch, like Ben 10 and normal shows in quotes, but like I did also like
Yeah.
if it was on, I would watch it. If it was like if it
Yeah.
was Drake and Josh, I'd watch Drake and Josh, but if like I don't know, Clifford the Big Red Dog was on, I would be like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm going to check out this fun big red boy and all of his little adventures with his normal sized dog friends."
I definitely watched Noggin when I was, I think, slightly too old, but I had the excuse of my sibling, and I did genuinely enjoy it. And
I told
huh?
I told people in school that I had a younger sibling that I watched it with.
Oh, you just lied. Oh my
I
God,
lied.
that's
I
hilarious.
lied to some of my friends. I was like, "Yeah, I have a little sister that I watch Dora with, so it's fine." And my friend was like, "You don't have a sister?" I was like, "Shut up, man! You're gonna rat me out."
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Secret Jessie lore moments. That's hilarious.
I've never told anyone that.
Really? Oh my God, and now it's on our podcast. Do you want me to cut it?
No, it's fine. I don't care.
Okay, good. Yeah,
occurred to
that's
me-
really funny.
It just occurred to me that like I never confessed to that sin of lying to people about my fake sister, so I could watch
Noggin.
Blue's Clues and Peep the Big Wide World or whatever.
Peep in the Big Wide World was so good.
It's very
But
cute.
anyway, all of that aside, I was interested. I did grow up with shows that involved puppeting as a kid, and like looking back, the Bear in the Big Blue House puppet, Mr. Bear, is extremely impressive.
It's so good.
He's a very cool puppet, and I watched a little bit of Between the Lions. Again, like it was a little young for me because that show was all about teaching you how to read, and like at that point I already knew how to read, so it was like it was redundant for sure, like for how old I was, but like I could still appreciate that like the character design was very cool, and like all the little animated segments and shit was just like, they maybe don't hold up as much now, like stylistically and like the quality of the animation, but like for the time, like it was very cool. But I never really got into Sesame Street or the Muppets, and then I watched Defunctland's retrospective, and I was just fascinated by it, like the way that all of the different ways that you can puppet like with your hands and like multiple people, and like all of the sets that they built and shit, and like how fun it seemed to be to like work on stuff like that. I don't know, I just like really fell in love with that idea. And Jim Henson himself is like an interesting person. Like I have conflicting opinions on him, and it basically boils down to why isn't his wife as famous as him, because she was like also a very good puppeteer, and like he knew that like she had potential, and like they worked together primarily based on like they bonded over their love of puppeting and shit. But like I like in an interview I thought like the Jane Henson was like their marriage was like mostly for like puppeting and like their craft rather than like romance. But like it was, I guess, that time period, and like they still wound up having like 4 fucking kids, and she wound up staying home to be a mom while he went off and got famous and like did the shit that both of them were good at, and she was like very skilled at as well. And then he cheated on his wife and all that. So like it was that time period where like everyone was a fucking misogynist, but like damn it, like, I still want to hold people accountable, like,
For
even if
sure.
it was like a product of their time or whatever. It's like,
Whenever
oh,
whenever
he
I
passed away, so it's like fine or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not. Like,
Yeah,
I
whenever
don't
I
know.
hear stuff like that, I think of the scene from weirdly enough, I think of the scene from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer where
Huh.
the mom is like, I'm gonna help you look for Rudolph," and the dad reindeer is like, "No,
The man reindeer.
he goes, "No, this is man's work," and I'm like, "All right."
Like, dude, come
Like,
on.
just let her go look
Like,
for her missing son. It's fine.
just because that was like the norm doesn't mean it's not shitty. And
Yeah.
like doesn't like I really feel like, I don't know, like if the person is dead and like they can't really be held accountable for their actions, like, there's an argument there, but like we have the power to look on people unfavorably based on their actions. Like, you know, Mr. Jim Henson is, unfortunately gone, but I can still not necessarily agree with all of the shit that he did. And like I still have the power to make those judgment calls even though he's not here anymore. And like I think that we should have that. I don't know. I feel like we should look critically on all creators, even if they were from like a shitty time period, because it was always bad. It was always a shitty thing to do. It was always a shitty mindset. Like, I don't know. I have a complicated relationship with a lot of people throughout history and that I'm inspired by. And
Yeah.
Jim Henson is just one of them, I suppose.
Mhm.
Um, but anyway, I one of the things that really stood out to me, and I think I was mostly inspired by Sesame Street, because I never really watched Sesame Street, but the idea of educating children in like lower income areas and like providing a providing educational outlets for kids that may not otherwise get it is like very, very cool. And that was like at its core like what Sesame Street was all about. And it got me thinking about how um, I see a lot of people talking about if growing up like LGBT in whatever way, like kind of feels like part of your childhood was like taken from you because like you weren't like raised the way that you are. Like I lost my childhood like as a boy because I wasn't raised that way. And
Same.
that's a very common issue with a lot of people that grow up closeted or don't realize who they are later on in life for whatever reason, and it's very sad. And there's also, I feel like, kind of a dearth of educational material for children regarding LGBT identities. So I was inspired by Sesame Street's, like, I don't know, their whole thing. So I made, for Back to Campus Movie Fest, all of this circling back to Campus Movie Fest, I used this as an excuse to make a puppet show in a week.
Mhm.
And I made 3 puppets with a bunch of discount fabric from Joann's, and I love them all so much, and I think I did a really fucking good job. Um, and it's really funny, and voice acting was, like, really a joy, and, I got Sasha to help me puppet one of the characters, and it was really cool, like, giving direction and, like, acting together and, like, voice acting along with a friend and shit. It was very cool, and, like, unfortunately, I thought that I was gonna be able to, because I was kind of wanting to develop, like, a pilot episode,
Mhm.
um, for all of this,
And you wanted
and
me
I
to
was
come
wanting.
down to visit to help you puppeteer and do voices and stuff, like to help out.
Yeah, I had big plans for this, and,
Mhm.
like, I have a completed video that I'm pretty proud of, and, like, it's a little sloppy, but, like, I made it in a week, and, like, that's not nothing. Like, I
Yeah.
have something that I'm very happy with. And I am actually going to turn it in as like my quote final project for one of my classes. I emailed my professor about it and was like, hey, like I never got to show you this. This is what I was going to be working on for the rest of the semester. So like I'm going to send you this video, and I'm also going to send him like a ton of concept art and like a demo and like demo footage of additional puppets that I built. Like I'll send him like a rough, like some notes that I have for like scripts and whatever. Like that's kind of going to be my final project, is sort of like a pitch deck of my final project. Um, so I am like kind of going to be turning something in then. But this is something that I was like really into and like really invested in, and unfortunately wasn't able to do all the things that I wanted because I had like so many segments that I wanted to do, and like Jessie was going to help me with voices, and like Sasha is actually like really good at mimicking my movements for puppeteering, so like that was really cool. Sasha and I had like bits that we were going to be working on together musically. Like I was really excited about it, but then like everything went to shit, and
Yeah.
then like obviously you couldn't come visit because like traveling was like
Mm-hmm.
kind of dangerous, and like you and your parents both are like immunocompromised.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, a lot of that wasn't able to pan out, but I am going to upload the official CMF cut of Rainbow Lane is what it's called. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
calling it.
Which is very
Um,
cute.
it's cute. Yeah, one of my friends, shout out to Claire at school for helping me come up with that lane, or
Hoping you come
fuck
out.
that helping me come out. Thank you, Claire, for helping me come up with the name to Rainbow Lane. We were kind of workshopping that when I was like hanging out with them in the gallery one day. It was like very cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It has a very good ring to it.
Mm-hmm. And now you're a puppeteer, and you call yourself a
I'm
puppeteer because you work with puppets.
I work with puppets now, so I'm a puppeteer now. I'm pretty sure I like literally have that in my Twitter bio now, like that I'm a puppeteer.
Yeah, if you don't, you should, because it's very funny.
Yeah, no, I know I had the I'm called a puppeteer because I work with puppets. I think that was in my Instagram bio, but I'm pretty sure I changed it.
You don't have it
Oh, you're
anymore.
snooping.
Yeah, you're in your Twitter bio. You don't anymore. I think you replaced it with dropped out of college to vibe during the pandemic.
Yes, that
Which
was
is
when
also very
that's
funny.
what I changed it when I was like, I am not going to do classes anymore, and I just got Animal Crossing. So, been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. It's been very fun.
Yeah.
The April update just dropped this morning, and I was playing it before we got on the call. But it's I guess spoilers, skip ahead like 15 seconds because it like literally just came out. By the time we upload this, it will have been out, but still, I'm not an asshole. But there's like two new vendors that come to visit your island, and you can buy like shrubs and flowers and shit.
Ooh.
And the yeah, it's cute. You can decorate your island more with like flower bushes and like other flowers that you might not be able to find normally. And also the museum has like an art gallery thing, and like one of the vendors named Red apparently deals like counterfeits. So you can like buy art from him and put it in the museum. I think Red was in like the GameCube version of the game. He might have been in New Leaf too, but I've never encountered him. So I'm not really familiar with him, but apparently he's kind of a fan favorite. Yeah, Animal Crossing is very cool. And yeah, so I'll be posting my CMF cut of Rainbow Lane later today, and I've made 7 puppets total, but only 3 of them are featured in the video, unfortunately. So I'll have to do like demo tapes or something of like them moving or lip syncing something.
Oh, you know what you could do? You could do like an audition tape for the puppets.
Oh, that's
like
fun.
the puppets are auditioning for Rainbow Lane, and it's their like audition tape.
That could be cute. I don't think it would be like, quote, canon within the context of the show, but I think that's a fun little aside.
It could be like a fun, like, getting to know the character kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely need your help with the rats, the glove rats that I made.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot their names. I'm such a terrible creator.
Me with my 18 billion OCs.
Oh, I think they're Ratso and Guttermouse.
Yeah, it was Ratso and Guttermouse.
Love them. Very fun.
Was I gonna be Ratso or Guttermouse?
I think you're Guttermouse. I think Guttermouse is the quote big dumb one.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, basically I'll go through like a short little rundown. Basically my idea for the pilot was the characters go to like an LGBT community center, and like the whatever like skits happen during the show will focus on like a specific theme. Sometimes it's like, pronouns, or like, etiquette within spaces, or sometimes like I think the pilot episode was just going to be like it's opening day for the community center. So that one's that I would have given myself a little leeway where it's just like introducing stuff for the pilot episode. But Ratso and Guttermouse are these 2 glove puppets. I'll have to like do an example of like what they look like and upload it, because they're a little hard to describe. but they're glove puppets that are like little rats, and I have them living in like the flower box outside of the community center. I built the set too. It's like kind of shitty, and I would definitely want to redo it, but like it serves the purpose. I think it's like a decent mock-up.
Mm-hmm.
Ned likes to sleep in it, so
Aw.
that's cool. Yeah, he likes to climb in the flower box, or like the front stoops for like the steps for the community center. He likes to like curl up in. It's pretty cute, but so I have Ratso and Guttermouse, and I have the musical segment with Worm Baby and Rattlesnake Jake. That one's very fun. I don't necessarily think I want to give away like the bit for that one, because that one's pretty funny. I've talked to you about it
Yes,
though.
it's very good.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do in quarantine to like, get these puppets out there.
You can if it's feasible, you can film something with Worm Baby and Rattlesnake Jake, and you can have me just like dub over Rattlesnake Jake like in post.
Yeah, that's what I did for my CMF film, honestly. Like I just voice acted to myself like in my bed, and then I voice acted while I was puppeting as well, just to have like separate tracks just in case. But I tried to sync it like to the pre-recorded track as much as possible, and it worked out pretty well. But I can send you like the video, and you can just time out the cadence to like my voice acting, and I'll just cut mine. Most of it is timing. Most of it is the issue of like lip syncing.
Yeah.
But that can be fixed, and I have some methods that I've developed and stolen from Jim Henson. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll try to upload some stuff, and I'll try to put that out there so you guys can check that out. But yeah, your turn. I think it's your turn for your little segment.
Yeah. So I was still in school when all this happened. I was promptly kicked out of my dorm on campus.
Yeah, oh my god.
With no warning. It would have been fine if they'd given us some warning, but they didn't.
It was literally like a day. They were like, "You got to get out of here by tomorrow."
Yeah,
like, get the fuck out of here.
And it was during spring break, so a lot of students weren't there, and we have a lot of international students who like couldn't leave because their country is like locked off from the United States. So it wasn't super well thought out, I don't think.
I have an international student. I have a friend that's an international student, and she, I believe, is able to stay with her sister, but that's still like really scary and shitty. I hate that so much.
Yeah, it's super frustrating. But in any event, so I had to move back in with my parents, which is super fun. Something that every 22-year-old really wants to do. Sarcasm, it isn't. It's not. It's been all right, but it's like just been like I want to not be here.
Yeah, no, I need time to myself a lot lately too, like, and that's not really typical for me. Like I love my household very much. Like Sasha and I are very close, and Tyler and I are obviously like together, but even like my state of mind is to the point where it's like I need to be like alone for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everyone is kind of like regardless of like what's going on currently.
To parrot something that Travis McElroy said on Bim Bam, it's not that I've spent too much time with my family, but I think I've spent too much time with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been a lot, but either way, I have.
It sucks though, like it sucks though because like you have all of this time to yourself, and like it sucks, and like being introspective all the time is like
yeah,
it's not great. Like don't treat yourself like a specimen. Like allow yourself to just live.
Yeah.
But also it sucks because like I personally don't have a ton of energy for socializing. Like there will be times when I'll be able to like I'll just be doing nothing but texting my friends. Like I'll have like a really good spurt of like I'm gonna talk to like my friends from school and like Jessie, and like I'll text my sibling to check up on them, and like I'll have like a really good thing, or like I'll want to make plans to hang out with you on Minecraft with like my household, or like we'll play Animal Crossing with some friends of ours. But like for the most part I am like not that interested in socializing right now, and it sucks because it's like I don't want to be completely alone, but like I don't want to fucking be around people either. So it's like, what do I do?
I have the opposite problem where I want to be around people and I want to socialize, but I don't want to seek out socialization because I worry that people don't like me for whatever reason, because I've been too introspective during all of this, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
yeah.
these people aren't reaching out to me, therefore they must hate my guts.
Yeah.
I must stay alone in my cave upstairs.
That is why we're doing this podcast, so we can bridge the gap a little more.
Yes, by all means, please.
Awesome.
In any event, I have been.
I'm glad the company is welcome, because I always feel like, because I don't know, like I feel like shit a lot of the time, and I like sometimes I need to talk about the fact that I feel like shit, but it's constant, and I don't want to like add that to you, because I'm sure you feel like shit too.
And I don't want to add, and I don't want to add to yours. So it's like,
yeah, it's a very delicate balance.
In any event, I was taking a DIS with my film professor, which a DIS is a directed independent study.
Will your professor remain nameless? Like I kind of figured.
Let's call him Phil.
Phil, okay, yeah.
Let's call him Phil. So Phil is my film professor at the college I go to, and I was doing a directed independent study with him, which means that it's basically like you just have a set meeting every week or so with your professor, and you work out, you workshop, like, I'm gonna, if you're an engineering student, your DIS might be, I'm gonna build a bridge or whatever, and it's just gonna be me, and I'm gonna be under the guidance of my professor, who, knows a thing or two about this field and can help guide me. But for the most part, I'm gonna be on my own.
It kind of sounds like a thesis project. It sounds like what I'm going to have to do whenever I'm able to go back to school.
Kind of. It's like a thesis, but for undergrads. But you can have multiple, I think. I'm not for sure how it works. But basically, it's like a simple, like, one-on-one course. And for that course...
It seems cool. I don't know if I have the discipline for that, but it seems cool.
Yeah. For that, I am writing a screenplay, which is... the Fort Knox superhero thing that I pitched in the last episode of Best Boys Proper.
Really? Was that recent? That's very disappointing. I thought we had done more since then.
No,
we've done deep dives.
Yeah,
we've done deep dives for sure.
We did a lot of deep dives, and then we fell off the map for a bit, and now we're back. It was about a year ago when we last did our proper.
We missed the Best Boys year anniversary.
We did, yeah.
Our first uploaded episode, I think, was in February. That sucks.
Yeah. Oh well. Happy 1 year.
Well, yeah, happy 1 year. It's late, but we have a decent backlog for 1 year.
And we got some stuff in the can. Moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not like displeased with our progress after 1 year. We're on Spotify.
Yeah. We're on iTunes.
Check us out there. I'm going to plug. We're on Spotify. And
iTunes.
We are on iTunes?
Yeah, we are on iTunes, Spotify.
Nice. I actually didn't know that.
We're on Google Play. I've told you this. We're on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes. Pretty much on all the major streaming platforms for podcasting.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I am so happy for us.
It's super cool.
Yeah, you know what? After a year, that's pretty good.
Yeah, like, considering, yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, yeah, let me see. We're available on 7 different platforms. We're available on Google Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor, iTunes, Overcast, Radio Public, and Spotify. I haven't heard of some of those.
So basically, whenever we do the outro, we can just say we're available on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you find podcasts.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because, good lord, I have never heard of some of those.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Go us.
It's awesome.
Thank you for listening. If you give a shit about our content and like us as people, we appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not famous, but we have people that like us, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you for liking us.
Then anyway. Which, if you don't remember the script that I pitched last time. It was a group of supervillains during the Great Recession in like 2009, planning to rob Fort Knox, and they're kind of, you know, wacky miscreants who don't.
I forgot that it was during the recession in 2009. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's got some real
That
fun,
specific setting is very good.
and it's got some really fun character dynamics. Like, the main characters are a brother sister duo who have been out of the supervillain game for a while. One of them is like a doofy inventor who's like, who robs places for only like glory. So he like
he just wants
he
clout.
wants clout, so he steals like, you know, Don Knotts' Emmy and like an old you know, Metallica record or something. Like, you know, that there's like that there's like a very famously, there's a movie that Robert Rodriguez directed, starring John Malkovich, that has been like locked in a safe somewhere and will be opened until 2115, I think.
Huh.
I don't remember what the movie's about. I think it's a short film, but either way, I think he would definitely, like, this character would go and steal that if that was available in 2009.
Yeah, that sounds like something he'd be into.
But it's really fun and goofy, and I've come up with some like fun characters and stuff. And I'll give Phil this. It's, you know, quarantine, pandemic, and all that, and, you know, he's been, you know, his kid. He has 2 kids, and he's, you know, stuck at home with his 2 kids and his wife, who's also a professor that I have, and she's great. She's been really up to date on, you know, keeping up with students and stuff. So I guess Phil, I think, is like maybe responsible for just like, you know, taking care of like the kids. So maybe he doesn't have a lot of free time to, you know, hit up students and stuff. But that being said, I emailed him, or rather, he emailed me right after all of this happened, and was like, "Hey, do you want to schedule like a Google Hangouts or a Zoom meeting or something in the near future?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'm available these days." And then he never emailed me back. And then I waited 3 weeks and was like, "Hey, never heard back from you. So, are we still on for like meeting up to talk about the script?
Are we cool?
Are we good? Did I do?
Hey, are we cool?
Did I do something?
Did I do something?
Did I do something wrong? Did I hurt your feelings? I'm sorry."
Yeah, right.
But he was like, "Yeah, sure, just tomorrow at 11 or whatever." And I was like, "Cool." And I gone on a Google Hangouts with him at that day at 11, and he was like, "Yeah, don't sweat your grade, man. You know, I just want you to be able to get something out of it, you know, so like don't sweat your grade." And I was like, "Cool. That tells me nothing."
Yeah, like
I'm gonna pass.
at that point,
and that's cool.
at that point, like, should you even bother? Like,
It's like I have 3 other classes that I need to like do a lot of stuff in right now, so I guess I don't really need to worry too much about. I don't need to sweat my grade in this one, so I'll just sweat my grade in the other 3.
So says Phil.
Yes.
Phil says, "Don't sweat your grade, man."
Yeah, Phil says, "Hey, don't worry about it."
Dude sounded like he was fucking blazed. Like, dude, don't. It's cool.
Phil perpetually sounds like he has either just woken up from a really rough hangover, or that he's blazed out of his mind.
Wow.
I don't know if either of those are true, that like he, you know, drinks or smokes or anything. I don't know for sure. I do know that he drinks. I don't know how often he drinks, but I have regularly seen him at a bar near campus. So, and I have heard him going out for drinks with friends and students and so forth. So who's to say?
Yeah, maybe he really is just like nursing a rough one every fucking day. That sucks.
I don't know, but like he'll come into class at like, you know, we'll have a class at like 4 or something, and he'll come in like, and he's like rubbing his eyes like he's like really tired or hungover or whatever, and I'm like, "Bro, did you just wake up?"
Bro, it's
It's
4.
4. It's 4 in the PM. You good?
Yeah.
Um.
It's 4 o'clock somewhere. Here, it's 4.
Uh.
What's up, bud?
So I am working on that. Slowly but surely. Right now, I'm gonna focus more on the other classes.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. But I do. I am happy with how the script's coming, and I like the characters and stuff that I'm writing.
Yeah, from what you've told me, it seems like you've got some cool stuff. And also, let me compliment you really quick. You're very good at like boiling down a character into like a pretty short pitch. Like obviously you got a little bit more in depth with the person that likes to steal like for clout,
Mhm.
but with the you mentioned like they're like siblings that are like they've been out of the villain game for a bit, and I was like, cool, I have a pretty good sense of these characters with like very minimal like wordage, so I just thought that that was very cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun
I
setup.
don't think I'm good at that. I don't think I'm good at like boiling down a character to like a basic pitch line rather than just like talking about them as if they're like a trope.
Yeah.
And that's not good. That's not a good way to like sell your character, but like I need to get better about that.
I want this movie to be Ocean's 11, but with superpowers, with higher stakes and less characters. Which
yeah,
honestly,
and the characters just seeming to be more like ridiculous.
yeah, and like, so like, there, one character like is introduced like in the middle of a robbery, like, the inventor character is literally robbing Edward Monk's The Scream from like a museum in Norway, when they like bump into each other or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a character who is in prison and they have to break him out. And there's like a local like a yeehaw cowboy like mob boss sort of situation that they have to recruit. And there's like another retiree who works at a candy shop, and she's like kind of just weird and like emotionally immature in like a weird way.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a fun like set of characters with like a fun sort of dynamic all together that I think is really fun. And
I'm glad you're like decently happy about this thing that you have to do for school, even if it's like not exactly what you wanted it to be.
so I started going to the college I go to because I thought it had a decent film program, and it doesn't. It has 3 film professors. One of them is Phil, who is fairly lazy and doesn't do a whole lot, and mostly just shows us clips from Jaws and is like, look at the cinematography, it's good, end of class, and whatever.
Whoa.
We have there's a professor who is really cool, and is actually a good teacher. He taught a horror film class that I took last summer. It was a really good class.
I remember that.
It was really good, and it was like interesting.
Very interesting.
He raised interesting points about depictions of race and gender in horror movies. The trope of like the final girl, and like the black guy dies first and whatever, and like stuff like that. And he showed us like different horror movies from across different decades and genres within horror. We watched The Ring, and it was really good.
This is not a class that I think I would be able to enjoy because I cannot handle horror.
Yeah.
But like that is very.
I
neat
also can't.
If you can like stomach movies like
I also
that.
can't handle horror because I'm a scaredy cat, but also I like being scared a little bit sometimes.
Nice.
So it's a fun little balance for me.
That's good. I don't enjoy being scared. It is like I mean it might be the same for you, but like being scared is like physically painful for me.
Yeah.
And it like
but like
it sucks.
for me,
I don't know. I don't like
when
it.
I'm able to like control the scary and like the fear and whatever, it's like kind of fun. It's like playing a scary video game. Like, we got together and played Five Nights at Freddy's for a little bit a few months back, which cringe culture, bleh, whatever. But
it's a fun suspense game, like whatever.
It's like yeah,
animatronics are cool.
It has a lot of like 13-year-old fans, and just because it has a lot of 13-year-old, largely LGBT fans, it's something that is therefore cringy and bad and easy to make fun of. And I think
Like, there are people that are fucking weird about it, but, like, that's the case for
there's a
everything,
lot of people
like,
who really want to fuck Purple Guy, and it's weird, but I don't get it. But like,
hmm. Yeah, but that's not the fault of the fucking video
yeah, that doesn't
game.
mean the video game's bad. The video game's actually really good, and it's a solid horror movie game thing. It's not a horror movie yet.
We watched Achievement Hunter play Five Nights at Freddy's in VR, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
It was a good time.
and like it is genuinely scary, and like but there's some like control you have over it of like
Yeah, definitely.
because if you're in like a haunted hedge maze or something, you know there's no escape. You just have to get through the hedge maze, and if you don't, you're gonna die, or whatever. But if you're watching a movie that's scary, you can just turn it off.
I kind of think I like walking through haunted things more so than watching scary things, and I don't know why that is.
Interesting.
Like, I'm not like a huge fan of going to haunted houses, but like I have been to them and I do enjoy them. Um it depends. Like, I don't think I could go to Halloween Horror Nights or anything that's like huge scale and like, very like the idea of a scare zone in a park where like the people like run up to you and shit, like, and you're not in like a designated like, I don't know, like house.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't really enjoy that. Like, if I'm just walking from point A to point B, I don't want to have somebody come up to me. They're like designated scare
Yeah.
zones that I'm sure you could avoid, but like I don't know. That doesn't necessarily sound my cup of tea. But I have been to like haunted house attractions that are like local, and they're pretty cool. There was one in my hometown. I think it was supposed to be like the local like high school cheerleaders put it on, and it was incredible. It was really fucking scary. And then like there was a lot of like extremely disturbing imagery. Like they built like a tree, and then there was like a person inside of the tree set like shaking it back and forth, and like there was like bloody baby dolls hanging from the tree branches. It was very disturbing. But there's been a couple of things that I've been to that I've enjoyed, and I feel like it might be, obviously, I don't touch the scare actors. I do not do that because I know that that's their job and it's a whole thing. But I feel like being in the situation in person kind of makes me feel like I have more control over it rather than watching a movie, because like
Interesting.
I can't fight the thing on screen. Like it's just something that I'm going to have to watch and deal with. But theoretically speaking, if someone runs up on me, I could fight back if I have to.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't do. I don't put my hands on any of the employees, and I honestly don't even go to haunted things very often, because sometimes when Tyler startles me, I do punch them.
Oh no.
So I want to limit my exposure to that in case like that's a thing that is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't hit scare actors. But theoretically speaking, if I am like literally in a space where something is a threat, I could theoretically fight it off. I wonder if that's why.
Theoretically, you could punch the scary scarecrow man running at you in the face, but you cannot punch Michael Myers in the movie in the face.
Yes, kind of.
If you did, you would break your giant TV, and you would be like very sad about it, and you'd have to go buy a new one.
Yes, that would suck a whole lot because I really like our new giant TV. We splurged a little bit and got a giant TV, mm-hmm. and now we can play giant Animal Crossing, and we can watch giant Scooby-Doo, and we can play giant Minecraft all together.
And we've been watching giant Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, the first thing we watched on this TV was giant Darkwing Duck. It was awesome. Uh-huh. But anyway, yeah, like and also within the movie there is like canon to it, like it is like that world. So it's like if it's a spooky scary ghost or whatever, that's a real spooky scary ghost that I'm still subjected to and can't punch. But in the real world, if I'm in a haunted place, like a haunted mansion thing or whatever, I know it's fake. Like I know it's fake because we're in the real world. Mm-hmm. We're not in the scary movie world. Like, I know that these are probably people that I might actually go to high school with. Like, this is the warehouse behind the old frozen yogurt shop. Like, I know that I'm for the most part safe, but I can punch if I need to.
That sounds like a primo Scooby-Doo, like investigation area, like the spooky warehouse behind the frozen yogurt shop.
Yeah, that closed down. It's not even a frozen yogurt place
Shaggy
anymore.
and Scooby are just
I don't know what it is anymore.
Shaggy's just like, can we just go to the frozen yogurt place, man? Please.
Fred's like, there hasn't been a frozen yogurt shop in 50 years, gang.
Zoinks. Oh.
And Fred Welker's like, treasure. Fred Welker. Frank Welker. Sorry.
We'll get to that in the next deep dive.
Yes, I'm excited.
So that's all I have for my thing, is just bitching about Phil.
Yeah, I'm complaining about school.
Yeah. So I don't gotta sweat my grade, which is cool, but haven't gotten a whole lot out of it thus far, except for I've actually sat down and written some pages of things, so that's fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's not nothing. I have a short thing. It's not like super developed or anything. I'm not really sure how this is gonna go, but I've been doing a little bit better lately, but beforehand, Tyler and I both were not doing super well mental health wise during all of this, but we had discussed, or Tyler shyly suggested, us developing a video game together to kind of like take our mind off of everything and like have something to work on, because like being productive does make me happy. Like having things to work on and like having a project to be invested in is like something that I enjoy. So that's something that we're like kind of thinking about. Tyler has a game that they've been wanting to do for a while. I'm gonna let them take the reins creatively. And we've kind of been talking about like influences for the game, like things that Tyler like is inspired by, and like kind of a vibe that they're trying to go for. We've been kind of ironing out story things, and it seems like Tyler doesn't have a whole lot, so there's kind of a lot to flesh out. So that's pretty interesting. We have to develop a whole cast of characters, and like write out a script, but that seems like, I don't know. I feel a little bit creatively burnt out, so I don't really want to come up with my own thing. So it's kind of cool to just like help Tyler with their thing, and also like I have a body of work and like stuff that I've done, like I have finished projects and like completed videos and things that I've done, but Tyler doesn't necessarily have that, so I'd like to help in any way that I can. But it's I don't, without giving too much away, because this is like Tyler's thing. And at that point we could just have them on as a guest, and like once we start working on it more properly. But it's gonna be a like isometric RPG that's like horror based, and it involves a spooky campground and like hidden things, and like finding secret things that you're not supposed to find, and like there's supposed to be like supernatural elements and stuff, and Tyler has like motifs that they want to focus on that I am very intrigued by. So without giving too much away, it's just like a cool, like, I don't know. Tyler is very much inspired by the game Corpse Party, which I have never played, but it seems like that look is what they're going for, cool. And that kind of like feel. A very simple, like stylized game, but still like having horror elements and like a fairly scary story. So that's like very cool.
Yeah,
and something that I am like excited to hopefully work on soon. Tyler has homework. I assigned them homework to make me like a mood board, and they still have not done that. So, so that's my little thing. I don't know how far along we'll get with that. That's kind of depending on Tyler and like what all they're wanting to do. But it's a cool little thing. Might work on that for a while, or over the course of like a long time. And you have a secret project, sort of, right? So are we gonna unveil that secret?
Yes, we will unveil the secret. I've been feeling really creatively burnt out during all of this, and I've been really distracting myself by playing a lot of video games and watching a lot of like old movies. I watched The Jungle Book for the first time recently.
I didn't realize that was your first time seeing it. I watched The Jungle Book all the time as a kid.
I've seen like bits of it. I've seen the full movie, but not all the way through. Like I would watch like half of it, and then I would have to go do something else, and then like years later I would catch like the second half on in the background of like summer camp or something. but I would never watch the full
Yeah.
thing all the way through. I just never got around to it.
Weird. Yeah, and I really loved that one.
It's pretty good. I hate Ka, and I think the reason I hate him is because of the way he's drawn. It makes me very uncomfortable because I forgot how much
Really?
I genuinely like had a really big fear of snakes as a kid, and I forgot that
Oh,
I did because I
wow.
thought I just got over it because like snakes are cool and fun, and then I saw like him like open his mouth and his mouth is all white on the inside and he's like ready to eat Mowgli, and I'm like, oh right, I forgot about that. Whoa.
Shit, snakes are terrifying. I
Yeah, I was
forgot.
like, oh right, that thing could kill me easily.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I forgot that you had like a fear of snakes. I think you also mentioned that you were afraid of bears, right? Like
uh
maybe more so than the average bear.
I'm afraid of real bears. I'm not afraid of like Baloo because Baloo's like a fun cartoon boy.
Right. Okay.
But I'm if I see like a grizzly bear in the meat space, like regardless of if it's in a zoo or in like a reserve or whatever, or if it's just on a nature trail or something, I feel like full hairs on the back of my neck stand up because I'm like, oh Jesus God, that thing is gonna murder me.
I don't I guess I forgot that you just have fears of like scary animals or like animals that are could kill you
Yeah,
obviously. Um
like bears to me, I've told people, like I've explained to people like bears are like furry tanks, and people like
yeah, they
they
really
laugh at
are.
that. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "That thing, it's just like it's like 100 something pounds of muscle, like, and it's covered in fur, but it's also under that fur. It's a bunch of claws and teeth and lots of muscle that can rip you in half."
Yeah, it's definitely
Like, I'm sorry, but it's a little spooky.
it's not to be trifled with for sure. I don't think I fear
They can
these animals, but I do have a healthy amount of respect for them and I definitely would want to avoid them like for the most
they are
part.
like the
Um
perfect like killing machine. They're faster than humans on land, in water. They can climb up trees. You're not safe anywhere from these bears.
yeah,
Ultimately,
okay. That's very fair. I still don't
I
fear
watched a
them,
lot
but
of
I
Animal
think I
Planet as a kid.
God, me too. I was just really I think I was just really distracted by the most extreme animations to like
That's
really
fair.
care about anything else that was being shown to me.
That's fair. Yeah, I would just watch like
Speaking of fucking Animal Planet, this is definitely not anything related to animals, but it's on Animal Planet. Sasha and I watched on Hulu this that series Treehouse
I don't
Masters.
understand why
Where
that's
like
on Animal Planet.
I have no idea, but it's a really good show and I
It
like it
is
a
fun. My
lot.
dad watches it sometimes, and it's like it's better than the
It's
other
nice.
shows that he watches.
It's like pretty
Yeah.
pleasant. It's like a fairly wholesome show. I like
Hmm.
it. Um but
Secret Project.
it's a bunch of like a lot of it is a bunch of like, community centers getting stuff that they deserve or like rich people
Hmm.
like being frivolous. Um which is unfortunate, but like the main cast is like pretty cool. Like the treehouse building team is pretty
There used
nice.
to be
Um
a show on Animal Planet called Tanked, which was they would build like big like fancy aquariums for people.
oh, that's
So they would
interesting.
have like I want uh like I'm a skater. I skateboard and I want a ramp that's also an aquarium. And they would like have to build an aquarium that could safely house fish, and like the glass wouldn't get scratched or anything by someone skateboarding up it, and also it's in the shape of a ramp, like a half pipe.
Absolutely
uh
bonkers. Nobody should have that much
no one
money.
should have that much money. And there were also like restaurants who like, we want like a cool like aquarium in the middle of our restaurant or our dentist office or whatever, and they would like get some like cool fish in the aquariums, and they would show like the whole process of like welding the glass together and melting it in like the right shape and whatever. I don't know, it was really cool. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty
uh
interesting. I don't think I don't think that is as ridiculous as the half pipe
oh
one.
yeah, there were like ridiculous ones that were,
There was
it was more like interesting and fun to watch, but like actually thinking about it for more than 2 seconds makes you go like, what, why?
yeah, like what a fucking asshole. Like come on,
Like you're
man.
just
Just have an aquarium.
Just have an aquarium. Like, why not have the aquarium be like the back wall against your half pipe? So like you
Yeah, that'd
can
be pretty
like
cool.
skate, and behind you, like you can like film yourself skating, and like in the backdrop is just like a whole lot of fish. Like,
Yeah, that would be sick. That's like way
it's
cooler.
way
And
cooler.
way
Yeah,
safer.
way cooler, way safer for the fish and you. Because if you do end up breaking that glass, like that's gonna be
You're
it's
fucked.
gonna be a bunch of shards of glass everywhere,
And fish
and also
everywhere.
fish everywhere that are gonna die because you were an idiot. because
And you're fucking
Rob Deerdick really wanted
the
his
shark
cool...
that you put in the tank is gonna kill
yeah,
you.
because Rob Deerdick really wanted his cool fish aquarium thing that he could skate on because he's just so radical. He's just so ridiculous that he needs it so bad.
So, what are you doing for your secret project? I think we got off track.
Yeah, we got really off track. Secret project is I creatively have been really out of the loop, and I needed something to do. And I had an idea a very, very long time ago to take segments of Best Boys proper and full episodes of Best Boys Deep Dive, condense them down, and put them to video. So like use clips from movies and shows that we're talking about to emphasize and like make clear what it is specifically we're talking about, because it's hard to say like, oh, and in this scene Shaggy pulls a gun on someone and it's really funny. And it's like, it's way funnier, I think, and more interesting to actually see it happening. You know what I mean? Or to have like...
Yeah, you're kind of video essay-ifying our podcast.
Yeah, and like having it sort of like having like visual aids to kind of help represent like where certain things are happening, and like if we're saying like this character design is bad and weird, then like we can just have the character like on screen to emphasize the point or whatever.
Yeah, that's
and
very
also we
true.
can put in like more jokes.
I think we do a decent job of describing the characters.
Yeah.
But that I think that would be to our advantage. Yeah. And I feel like it could also help us just like condense the episode and like help us get our point across faster, because a lot of the episodes sometimes are just you like literally narrating like the story.
Yeah.
And if you're right, if we could just show what we're talking about, that can help us like, obviously still listen to the podcast,
for
but
sure.
Like, the videos might make things a little more
like a more
for the busy YouTube consumer.
For like just
on the go. I don't have time to listen to this whole podcast episode. I'll just watch this like 10-minute video that Jessie made.
Just a slightly like it's...
I get it. I have a shitty attention span too. I understand.
Yeah, but like, the videos are still ultimately going to be long, but like not 2 hours long like our Boo Brothers episode was. Or 2.5 hours, like I think Ghoul School ended up being. But it's just something, chunk it out into a more digestible, like kind of video segment sort of. And also like some highlight, maybe like a fun highlight reel of the podcast or something, for like new listeners or something. Maybe we could put that as like the channel trailer or something.
Sure, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Just something to like, at the end of the day, it's something to keep me distracted during all of this nonsense.
Yeah. It's cool though. I hope you're successful there.
Yeah, thank you.
So I don't think we should mention like we have sort of a schedule in mind, but we will maybe announce that on Twitter after we're like sure that we can maintain it. But we have some stuff in the can that we're working on, and we'll hopefully be able to upload for the next like probably maybe month fairly regularly. And we'll have some other stuff coming as well.
Yeah, and I have some fun ideas for some deep dives. I've been getting into playing old video games, so that's been giving me some new inspirations for tackling new subjects and ideas and topics, which could be really interesting, I think.
Yeah, you've been watching a ton of old shit to talk about, and honestly me too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I there's definitely some things. Maybe I'm like really interested in like the Again, honestly, like, this entire episode is just me plugging Defunct Land. Like, he's just fucking
Mm-hmm.
cool. I just really admire and respect him a lot. So, like, check his shit out. Like, check out his work, and, like, check out a bunch of other theme park folks that do a lot of similar stuff to him. And, like, I think Defunct Land does it in a very interesting way, and, like, maybe a little bit more creative than, like, some of the other channels that I follow. But, like, they're all very good, and they're all like super interesting and cool people. And it's a very interesting topic that I draw a lot of inspiration and, like, creativity from. So, like, yeah, check out Defunct Land. He's
Mm-hmm.
great. But yeah, I agree. Like, I think you've tapped into a well of opportunity to, like, talk about shit on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast.
And speaking of the Funk Plan, we also at some point are gonna do an episode where we workshop my D&D slash sort of just actual play podcast that is Roll Plus Queer, that is still in the works for the time being, and I have like I'm DMing for the first time, and I need to figure out that whole situation. And Leo
It's pretty fun.
being an expert in theme parks, because our first season or arc or whatever is set in a theme park, will be helping me flesh out the world of that a bit.
I am so stoked. I love theme parks so
Yeah.
much. I love incorporating theme park elements into my work. I think it's, like, super cool and
Yeah.
fun. So yeah, I'll help in any way that I can. All right, well, thank you all for listening to our most recent episode of Best Boys Quarantine Edition, unfortunately, but hopefully this can be a small light in the darkness for some of our friends and loved ones that like to listen to this, and
maybe it can be a launching off point for potentially season 2 of this whole situation.
Season 2 of Best Boys. Oh yeah, we've been here for a year, and I still have a desire to create stuff for, like, this venture. So yeah, we'll be sticking around and developing things for later on. We have some stuff in the works for the coming month, and I believe that this show will also be a light in the darkness for both Jessie and I as well. So thank you all for being a part of it, and take care of each other, stay home, wash your hands, etc. Be really fucking nice to grocery store employees, or I swear to God, I'll beat you to death.
Also,
like,
if you can, stay home. Don't go anywhere.
Literally, you don't need Starbucks. You do not need fucking Starbucks. Oh my God. Like, I work at a grocery store, so I kind of understand the people that need to be there to, like, get fucking food for their house so they can avoid going out in the future. Sure. I understand. You don't need fucking Starbucks. You don't need Starbucks. Stay home.
Need McDonald's. You don't need Panera.
Make your own goddamn coffee.
Just go to, a Wawa or a Publix or a Winn-Dixie or some other southern chain that doesn't exist anywhere but here.
Yeah. we live in a
society.
We live in a great, like, we live in a great little, like, puddle of, like, things where we can get junk food from. But also, getting fucking Uber Eats and getting delivery doesn't count. You are still putting somebody else at risk. You are making somebody else do your dirty work. If you're going
to,
if you, like, need fucking fast food because it's cheap, and, like, I totally get it. Sometimes you just want to have, like, you know what? For 420, Tyler and I went and got Taco Bell. I am sorry, but we went through the fucking drive-thru. We didn't make somebody else go out.
Go to the drive-thru, and if you really want to go somewhere, don't do fast food. Go to, like, a local store. Go to a mom and pop, because
we also went to a local place here, and we did pickup. It was awesome, and it was like a real.
My parents got pickup from a local pizza place, and I cried. It was so good. I don't even like their pizza that much, but I was just so happy to have something that wasn't homemade for once in 6 weeks. I've literally been home for 6 weeks, and I'm losing it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've been lucky enough to be able to go to work still, but, like, fuck. Well, yeah, we've got some fun stuff coming out soon. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining us on this year journey.
Leo,
and
Leo,
yes.
where can I find you? I wanna
Oh, where can you find
Yeah, where
me?
are you? I want to, follow your stuff, and I want to see all your art and follow your process and your creative process and stuff, and check out all your Animal Crossing hot takes. Where can I see
Yes,
that?
thank you. I've been uploading lots of screenshots of my friends and I hanging out on our Animal Crossing islands. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm on Twitter at gouache_boy, GOUACHE boy. And I'm on Twitter. My art Twitter is at gboydles, G.BOYDLES. Where can I find you, Jesse?
You can find all my political hot takes because I posted a weird thread like first thing I woke up and I got mad about politics and I posted a thing on Twitter about that. So that's
Yes, I loved your American Labor Party thread. What a
yeah.
queen. I love it. I love watching my friends go feral on Twitter and like get angry about the same stuff as me. It's awesome.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch. I haven't done anything on Twitch yet except for one time, which was a mistake. But
yeah, we were trying to get that worked out, but we are having technical difficulties
my
there.
computer
But
sucks.
if we have anything that we can do, God,
check it out on my Twitch. We'll let you know.
If we have anything that we can do streaming wise, we'll post about it on our Twitter. Oh my God, I haven't plugged our Twitter yet on here.
I was about to say.
You can find us on Twitter at bestboystmc. That's Best Boys with a Z, TMC, as in the media cage. So check us out there. I'll be posting whatever updates and retweeting stuff that Jesse and I post just to like plug our
and
shit.
I
but yeah, you can and
I still haven't said my at. You can find me at Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, probably some other social media platforms that I'm forgetting that I'm on, at jdanny626. That is,
yeah, I
changed it around. I'm not Orc Cop or Grinch Fat anymore.
The end of an era.
It's the end of an era. I gotta have that branding going on. You can find me at jdanny626. That is JDANNI626, as in Stitch.
Yay, because you're cringy.
Damn, all right.
No, I'm kidding. No, I get it.
Don't come here for my wig, King.
Oh my God.
You can have it, and that's that on that. Period.
Shut the fuck up. We can't say that. We're white. Stop it. We can't say that. We're not cool enough to talk like that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, have a good one, y'all. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe. Wash your hands. Stay at home, you fucking monsters.
Don't get Starbucks. Have a good one.